So hello and good Friday, everybody. This is Ruth Pessoa from Curbal.com, and it's time for another DAX Fridays. And in today's DAX Fridays, we're going to answer a question that I get a lot of times. And the last time I got it, it was in the Power BI user group meeting in Sweden. And it goes like this: what should I learn, DAX or a Power Query? And for those of you that have worked with Power BI for a while, you might say, why is that even a question? You have to learn both, right? But it is actually a good question if you are a beginner. So where should you put your efforts? What tools should you actually learn first? And if we are like super strict with the words, Power Query is a tool. The language is M, and then you would say, should I learn M or should I learn DAX? But with that aside, Power Query is a tool that Microsoft provides in a lot of programs nowadays. You have it in Power Apps, you have it in Flow, you have it in Excel, you have it in data flows, you have it in analysis services. It's absolutely everywhere. So it is a great skill to have. And what it allows you to do is allows you to transform your data, to prepare it for analysis. So you shape it in a way that makes it very easy to ask questions to it, and also to bring more tables and put tables together with relationships to be able to query everything. DAX, on the other hand, it is a language that you will use to ask questions about your data. Okay, so with Power Query you clean data. With DAX you actually ask questions about your data. And the thing is, where should you start? Well, obviously it depends on what you're trying to do. But if you are like a business user, a modeler that you just need to do everything, I would do like this. I would start with Power Query, for sure. Why? Because it is on all these tools that I've already told you. That means that once you learn that, you learn the fundamental skills for a lot of the Microsoft tools. That does not apply to DAX necessarily. There is not that spread around Microsoft, ecosystem. So it is a great skill to have that you can reuse on other tools. It is very easy and intuitive to learn, okay? But the main point, the thing that makes me recommend you to learn first is the fact that on any data project, 99.99999% of the cases, you have to clean your data. You have to import your data, modify it, maybe join it, maybe remove things, and doing that in DAX is a nightmare. It's a true nightmare. Don't clean data in DAX unless you really have to. There is no way, because you have created a calculation that does not allow you to go back to Power Query. Okay, fine. But otherwise, just don't do clean transformations in DAX. Use Power Query. Power Query is very easy to learn. You just have to, like everything in life, practice a little bit. I truly, truly recommend you start with Power Query. Once you know Power Query, when you put things in Power BI, and even in Excel, in Excel you don't need to do DAX. You can use the normal Excel once you have everything in a pivot table. So you don't even need to know that DAX exists to be able to do your normal work. But you need to clean, and this will be so efficient for you if you learn Power Query. So once you have moved everything into Power BI, let's say that you're in Power BI, you have to go through the Power Pivot engine and use DAX. Well, you can do amazing reports with very little knowledge of DAX. So you can do really good and advanced reports that require no DAX whatsoever. Okay, so that is quite an important point. You don't always have to write DAX. And you can always write. I did that in the beginning. I wrote a lot of calculated columns. Don't do that afterwards once you know a little bit more. But for me, because I came from the Excel world, it was the way to do it. You created calculated columns for everything. And then you realize it's going to bite you. So eventually okay, I shouldn't do that. But it gets you started, it gets you going, and then you tackle the problems as you go and you learn. So first Power Query, then go and learn DAX and do it sequentially. I mean, you can start with the basics of sum, of count, of, you know, the normal Excel functions, and then you can build on that. There is an amazing Power BI community that will help you. I have tons of videos that will help you. You have resources everywhere just to get you going. And once you learn, you know, Power Query and you start managing DAX, okay, go back to Power Query, and you will want to do, the more you get into the Power BI world, the more you will to do, the more data you want to grab, and then you will need to learn a little bit of M too. So I will go Power Query, DAX, M. So that is my 2 cents of this question. I would love to know what you think. Let me know in the comment box down below, and explain why you would do it in a different way. I would love to, you know, hear your thoughts, so it's not just thoughts on my head. And yeah, that's all for today's video. On Monday, I'm going to do a data flow video. It is a 30-minute video where I go through the data flow white paper and I explain everything. I've been very confused about data flows. Well, hopefully after this video, you won't be confused. So I think I cleared a lot of the questions, not most of it, but a lot of the questions anyhow. And if you are intending to purchase the M course, make sure that you do that before Monday, because that's the last day for the code, you know, the discount code. So if you haven't seen that video, I link down below so you can grab the code and get the course. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. Bye.